for this cause, for marriage. That's why you're going to leave your father and mother. You're going to gain you a wife. You're going to gain you a fruitful possession. You're going to sow your seed with it. You're going to build her up. You're going to nourish her for that cause. That's why you left your mother and father. Fulfill the years of his life in peace. Man, it's such a beautiful thing to come home and somebody asks you what you want to eat. Can I make you something? How was your day? You need something to drink? Just let me know when you want something. So it said they adorn themselves. Adorn means make yourself more beautiful. They made themselves more beautiful by subjecting themselves to their Lord. Hey, shalom, family, Most High in Christ blessed. This is Officer Mike Judah with the Dallas Camp. I'm here today with another marriage class. This class is called A Good Marriage is a Choice, because we have a choice whether we're going to keep the commandments or not when we go through tribulations in our marriage. We're going to start at 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 27. Read that.
1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 27. Art thou bound unto a wife? Seek not to be loosed. Art thou loosed from a wife? Seek not a wife.
So when we come into this truth, a lot of us come in, we married. Our wives been built up in this truth. A lot of us are not married, so we look to be married. Read that again.
Art thou bound unto a wife? Seek not to be loosed.
So if you have a wife, when you come into this truth and you start to put in the work, put in the bricks, and then your marriage start to become trying to you. Your wife start to try you a little bit. Things are rocky because now you're a totally different person than what you were before you came into this truth. The Lord said, if you have a wife, don't be trying to be loose from her. Read.
Art thou loose from a wife? Seek not a wife.
And if you don't have a wife, the Lord said, don't look to be married like that. Don't let women be your focus like that. Read.
Verse 28. But, and if thou marry, thou hast not sinned.
But if you get married in this truth, you single and you get married, it's not a sin. Read.
And if a virgin marry, she have not sinned. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh. But I spare you.
But there will be trouble in the flesh. And when that trouble come, you got a choice to make. Let's go to Romans chapter 5 and verse 3.
Romans chapter 5 and verse 3. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations also.
So when trials come up in our marriage, we glory in those trials. Read.
Knowing that tribulation worketh patience.
Because when we're going through those trials, it teaches us how to apply God's commandments, how to be patient. Read.
And patience, experience.
And that patience will cause us to endure so we can get experience in marriage. Read.
And experience, hope.
And that experience will help us to attain hope. It'll help us get to the end of the problem that we're facing. Read.
And hope make it not ashamed, because the love of God is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Ghost.
And that hope, that's going to make you not ashamed, because them commandments have been applied. The love of God has been shed abroad in your spirit and built you up. Let's get that roller coaster. See, this is they say marriage is a roller coaster ride. So I you know, just for entertainment purposes, I want to play this video right here. See, this how marriage is. When we get married, we done proved the person. Now we done got married. Hey, we on high. Hey, man, everything is lovely. It's fine. It's dandy. Oh, I love her so much. She loved me so much, man. My wife, the best thing smoking. She the best thing since sliced bread. Oh, I love him so much. Oh, he handsome. He fine. Uh-oh. We done made a year. Now, we had a year. And we had a good time. Now look at here. Hey, he lost his job. Bills coming up. Hey, mother-in-law, father-in-law, they getting on my nerve. Hey, we you know what I'm saying? We got all kind of problems right now. It's just this big roller coaster ride. Now this is we done got kicked out. We done got put out. She don't know how to cook. I thought she can cook. Now all these problems coming up. And guess what? It seemed like we made it through that. We done got to the end. But if we endure on this roller coaster ride, we're going to go right back through that same thing again. So that tribulation going to work your patience. And that patience going to work your experience. And that experience going to work your hope that we'll get to the end of our tribulation. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 13.
Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers God will judge.
So it says marriage is honorable in all. So we got to look up the key. Let's look up the root word of honorable, which is honor.
Honor. Mm-hmm. High respect, great esteem.
So marriage is something that should be highly respected. It's something that you should give great esteem to. Read the next one.
A person or thing that brings credit. Mm-hmm. A title of respect given to or used in addressing a judge or a mayor. Uh-huh. Number two, adherence to what is right or to a conventional standard of conduct.
Read number three.
Number three, something regarded as a rare opportunity and bringing pride and pleasure, a privilege.
So marriage is a rare opportunity that brings pride and privilege. Marriage is honorable. Hit the drop down. Yeah. Read some of those
synonyms. Synonyms for honor, integrity, honorableness, honesty, uprightness.
So marriage is upright. Read.
Ethics.
It has high ethics and high moral value. Read.
Morality. Principle. High principles. Righteousness.
Marriage is righteous. Read.
Rectitude. Nobility. High-mindedness.
So it says marriage is nobility. So in our marriage, we gotta understand that we're gonna go through trials, but you in a righteous, honorable, upright position, a high moral, a high ethic position with your husband and your wife, right? This is a position of virtue, goodness, right? So let's go to Matthew chapter 19. Let's see what Christ said about marriage. Matthew 19:5.
Matthew chapter 19 and verse 5, and said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh.
For the cause of marriage shall a man leave his father and mother, and cleave to his wife. Now this is your partner. It's supposed to be a lifetime partner for you. You supposedly should have proven this woman to make sure this is that right person for you. So when you get married, y'all become one flesh. The children that come from the marriage, they look like you and her. Y'all one flesh at this point. You know what I'm saying? So read that again.
And said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh.
So now when you get married, there's no more individualism. Y'all one flesh. It ain't no more your way, my way, this way. Y'all collectively have to come together to make this thing work. Read.
What therefore God hath joined together, let not man put put asunder.
So how do we know if God joined it together? Because of the time that your marriage endure, and if y'all have been applying God's commandments when y'all go through tribulation. That's how you gonna know. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 3. 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 7. Let me get there.
1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 7. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge.
Dwell with your wife according to the commandments, read.
Giving honor unto the wife, as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered.
The Lord said, give honor to her as being the weaker vessel. Because like a lot of times when I deal with my wife, the first thing come out of her mouth is an emotional thought. It's all emotions. So I have to deal with her in a manner that's, you know what I'm saying, to build her up so she can understand and see things the way that I do. She don't see it the way I do. She ain't built like that. She built to nurture and care for things. I'm built to solve problems. So I have to help her see things the way that I see it. Why? Read that, because she's a what?
As unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered.
Unto her as the weaker vessel. Not saying she's incapable of doing things. It's just that my thought about life, the way I see things, she don't see it that way. So I have to build her up to be able to see she's a weaker vessel in me trying to accomplish a goal. She's a help for me. So I got to show her what I want. All right. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 3.
Proverbs.
So when the Lord say, you know, give honor to your wife, he not saying, you know, just put her above the Most High, put her above, you know, the you being a prophet of the Most High doing this work. He's saying just be patient, understand, guide your wife. She's the weaker vessel. Read what you got.
Proverbs 31 and verse 3. Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings.
See there? Don't give your strength to a woman. Don't be trying to honor them like they supposed to honor us. That's giving your strength to a woman. And in this truth, we say that's a simp. Don't be no simp. Read it again.
Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. It is not for kings, O Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes strong drink.
That's it. Go to Sirach 33 and 19.
Sirach 33 and verse 19. Give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend, power over thee while thou livest, and give not thy goods to another, lest it repent thee, and thou entreat for the same again.
So the scriptures say, give not your wife power over you. Don't give your strength to a woman. Don't be a simp. You know, in this truth, you're gonna have to do work. We're gonna have this kingdom coming to an end. So we gotta establish the kingdom. We gotta move. We gotta travel. We gotta be in and out, ready to move when these nukes come. So I can't be chasing my wife's skirt. I can't be chasing women's skirts. We got work to do, right? Go to 2 Ezra chapter 16. 2 Ezra chapter 16 and start at verse 40.
2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse 40. O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle. And in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth.
So I can't be chasing skirts because we got to be like pilgrims on the earth. Read.
He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away. And he that buyeth, as one that will lose.
Read.
He that occupieth merchandise, as he that hath no profit by it. and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein.
So all these things that we working for, attaining for, we gotta act like these things gonna be gone in the blink of an eye. We can't be so caught up in those things. We gotta do the work. Read.
He that soweth as if he should not reap, so also he that planted the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes.
Watch this.
They that marry as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers.
So they that get married, it say be like you ain't got no children. Like I'm ready to leave all this behind. And it says, and he that's not married as a widow, just constantly be doing the work like you on your own, because you are. Your time needs to be occupied to doing the work of the Lord, not chasing skirts, being a simp for women. Because that's what your wife gonna want you to do. If you sit there and listen to her and coddle down to her, she gonna turn you that way. So you gonna have to be strong mentally to be able to guide her, especially women in this truth. They want a man that's known in the gates, a man that's putting in work, a man that's growing in rank. Because if that ain't what you're doing, eventually she gonna see you as a simp. Let's go back. 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 8.
First Peter chapter 3 and verse 8. Finally, be ye all of one mind.
Like Christ said, we one flesh. We one flesh now. I'm married, we one flesh. Read that again.
Finally, be ye all of one mind.
Read.
Having compassion one of another.
Having compassion one of another. Giving honor to my wife as the weaker vessel. I'm having compassion that she don't understand what I'm saying off the top. Right? Read.
Love as brethren.
The Bible say what?
Love as brethren.
I'm supposed to love my wife just like I love my brothers. I'd do anything for my brothers if they was in this truth. Now, I still do anything for them. They in the world. I love them. But it say love your wife, love her as brothers. Read.
Be pitiful.
Be pitiful. Read.
Be courteous.
Be courteous to her. Should have some mercy for her. Be pity. Have pity for her, man. This is a female. Read.
Not rendering evil for evil.
Don't render evil for evil. Read.
Or railing for railing. But contrariwise, blessing, knowing that ye are thereunto called, that ye should inherit a blessing.
Let's go to Colossians 3:19. It say, don't render evil for evil. Like I said, marriage, a good marriage is a choice, right? Let's go to, let me get there, Colossians 3 and verse 19.
Colossians chapter 3 and verse 19. Husbands, love your wives and be not bitter against them.
The Bible says to love your wife and be not bitter against them. What's that bitterness? What do it mean don't be bitter? Let's go to Sirach 9 and 1.
Sirach chapter 9 and verse 1. Be not jealous over the wife of thy bosom, and teach her not an evil lesson against thyself.
It said, be not jealous. Hey, pull up the definition of jealous. Read it one more time.
Sirach chapter 9 and verse 1. Be not jealous over the wife of thy bosom, and teach her not an evil lesson against thyself.
Be not jealous over the wife of thy bosom, and teach her not an evil lesson against thy soul. We got it? Yeah.
Jealous.
Yep.
Feeling or showing envy of someone or their achievements and advantages.
So it's a feeling or showing envy towards someone. Let's get the similar.
Envious.
Hit the drop down.
Envious, covetous, desirous, resentful.
Don't be jealous, meaning don't be resentful towards your wife.
Grudging.
Don't be grudging towards your wife.
Begrudging. Jaundiced. Bitter.
There go that word bitter. That's what we read in Colossians. Don't be bitter towards your wife. Read.
Malicious.
Don't be malicious towards your wife. Read.
Spiteful.
Spiteful. Go ahead.
Green with envy. Green. Green-eyed. Greedy.
Greedy towards your wife. What?
Selfish.
Don't be selfish. These are all the similarities of the word jealous. The Bible says don't be selfish, don't be bitter, malicious, spiteful, grudging towards your wife. Why? Why does it say that? Let's go back to Sirach 9.
Sirach chapter 9 and verse 1. Be not jealous over the wife of thy bosom, and teach her not an evil lesson against thyself. Give not thy soul unto a woman to set her foot upon thy substance.
That's it. Because it says, don't be bitter, jealous towards your wife. Go to Proverbs chapter 6. And teach her not an evil lesson. Because sometimes we want to, the evil lessons that we teach be verbal abuse, financial abuse, physical abuse. This is the lessons that we can teach our wives against us. We're going to jump into some financial abuse. Well, let's do financial abuse right quick. Go to Proverbs right quick. Proverbs 6 and 6.
Proverbs.
Let me get there with you.
Yes, sir.
Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 6. Read.
Proverbs 6 and verse 6. Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise.
It said go to the ant, sluggard. So one way you can teach your wife an evil lesson against you is if you slothful, if you a sluggard, if you don't want to get up and go work, if you don't want to provide, right? Go read Sirach 29:21. We coming right back. Read that.
Sirach chapter 29 and verse 21. The chief thing for life is water and bread and clothing, and in house to cover shame. Better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage than delicate fare in another man's house.
So the Lord says it's better to have you a mean cottage and have the chief things in life before you even think about getting married. Because if you can sustain those things by yourself, then you should be able to do it with a wife. So that financial abuse, getting off your butt, not being a sluggard. Go back to Proverbs 6 and 6.
Proverbs 6 and verse 6. Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise.
The Lord said, go look at an ant and see what they do. Get wisdom from that ant. Sluggard. Read.
Which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provided her meat in the summer and gathered her food in the harvest.
So the ant will gather leaves in the summertime, take it in the nest, put it in there for the woman, can stock it and give it to the larvae and feed, and they stock up on what they call it after decay and everything. You know what I'm talking about? You don't know what nah, it's mold. It turns into mold, and that's what they eat. They get them leaves, they take it down in the tunnels, they form it, they harvest it, it turns into mold, they feed the larvae, they feed the whole nest during the winter when it ain't no leaves. So the Lord say, go look at an ant and be wise. Consider what he do. He work, so he can provide. Read on, is that it?
Verse 9. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep?
Let's go back. No, Ecclesiastes 10 and 18.
Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 18.
Yep.
By much slothfulness the building decayeth, and through idleness of the hands the house droppeth through.
So through much slothfulness the building decayeth. So whatever Whatever you and your spouse been working on, if you being a sluggard, you being slothfulness, and she see that, and she in the house with you doing that, everything that y'all don't work for gonna fall into decay. It's gonna fall into decay, and this is gonna make your wife have to make a choice if she want to stay in this marriage or not. We trying to have good marriages based on the law, statutes, and commandments. We gotta apply this stuff. If we ain't applying it, then we leave our spouses wide open, being slothful, letting the house decay for her to even have a thought to walk off. Because if she see you trying, at least, you know, if you're trying, she don't feel like she being financially abused. Right? So let's go back to Sirach 22 and 25.
You want 25, 22, or 22,
25, 22, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sirach chapter 25 and verse 22. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach.
So if she maintaining you because you being a sluggard, the scriptures tell you she gonna be full of anger, full of reproach. How you gonna deal with a woman that's taking care of you? You trying to get you some due benevolence, but she been out working while you been scratching your sacks, playing PlayStation all day. She ain't feeling you like that. Now, had you went to your job, and then after your job, you done had to go to the school, hold security for the classes, go hold broadcasting team for the classes, then you done had to come home and you dead tired at the end of the day because, you know what I'm saying, you've been grinding all day, then you putting in work for the Lord. Then when you come home, your wife gonna see that. And then she's gonna do those things that a virtuous wife would do. She gonna tend to her husband. But if you slothful, you ain't been doing up but playing PlayStation all day, don't expect no hot food, bruh.
1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 6. But godliness with contentment is great gain.
But sis, now this is directed to the sisters. Now, if you got a man, he done been providing the chief things in life. He's providing that food, that shelter, you know, the clothing. He's giving those chief things. What the scriptures say?
But godliness with contentment is great gain.
God said, be content with what you have. Don't be trying to keep up with the Joneses. Don't be looking at your husband, asking him, worrying him, talking about why we ain't got this and why we ain't got that. Don't do that, sis. That's not an application of the scriptures. If you want those things, it's a way that you can go to your husband and start making plans, start having savings, start working together to put your heads together and you build your credit up and your finances up so you can go and get those things. Don't be worrying your husband about how somebody else is living and trying to make him keep up with the Joneses. He trying to do what the Lord said, provide and be a guide for you. All right, let's go. Let's go back to Sirach 9 and 1. Let's read that again, and then we're going to jump.
Sirach chapter 9 and verse 1. Be not jealous over the wife of thy bosom, and teach her not an evil lesson against thyself.
So the scriptures say don't be jealous. Don't be envious. Don't be bitter. Don't do those things against your wife, teaching her that evil lesson towards you, right? So, now I want to get this physical abuse, right? Because that first is financial abuse. These things go both ways. Women can be financially abusive because sometimes a husband may lose a job, and the wife had to provide for a moment. But instead of being like Tobit's wife, taking up women's work, bringing the money home, taking care of the house, you women, some of you women, not all of y'all, some of y'all like to get bold and bolded to start talking bad to your husband and start talking to him like he's a scrub on the passenger side of the best friend ride. That's how y'all get. And then you wonder why when he get back on his feet, he trying to leave you. You wonder why. But let's go. Where we at?
Proverbs 6.
Yeah, Proverbs 6:13.
Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 13. He waketh with his eyes. He speaketh with his feet. He teacheth with his fingers.
So does a man, let's see. Give verse 12.
Proverbs 6 and verse 12. A naughty person, a wicked man, walketh with a froward mouth. He winketh with his eyes, and he speaketh with his feet.
So it's men out here that like to speak with their feet. I mean, he don't mind putting his foot right dead up the crack of you know what I'm about to say. All you got to do is get a little bit boisterous, a little bit prideful, and he gonna stick that foot right where you don't want him to. It's this gonna happen. And what else he do?
He teacheth with his fingers.
And you see this here? And he see, bing. He teach with his fingers. That's how he get his point across. That's how he help you learn lessons. That's the kind of abuse that the Lord telling us. When you prove a person, these things they will come out. You gonna see this character in this person. You know, some of us came from abusive households where our father beat the crap out of our mothers. We saw that, and that's the only way we know how to handle problems. Fighting. My whole young life, I was fighting. I used to love to fight. I should have been a boxer or something. But I saw that type of abuse my whole life. And it's a lot of men that deal with that. When they come into this truth, you be so quick to marry them, but they got that spirit on them. They ain't dealt with that yet. They ain't been through nothing yet. Soon as the roller coaster go up and it go down, he talking with his feet and his fingers. Right upside your head, because he don't know how to handle that type of stress, that type of pressure. But he's 6'2" with the size 12 shoe. That's what you like. Let's go. Proverbs 11, verse 29.
Proverbs 11 and verse 29. He that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind.
So if you talking with your feet and your hands, the Lord said you're going to inherit the wind. You're going to come home and that whole house, it's going to be like this. It's going to be a desert off in that joint. You ain't going to have no couch, no TV, PlayStation gone. That same PlayStation you used to be slothful with, and when it get out the couch, it gone in the wind. In the wind. Read it again.
He that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind, and the fool shall be servant to the wise of heart.
Man, let's go to Ephesians. Was I done dealing with that? The verbal abuse. Now we got to get to the verbal abuse, right? So let's go to Ephesians 5, read verse 25. We're going to read down to verse 33.
Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 25. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of the water by the word.
Let me read it again.
Yes, sir. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it.
So the scriptures say, love your wife, just like Christ loved the church and gave his life for it. You got to be willing to, the woman that you decide to marry, you got to be willing to take a bullet for her. Now, I wouldn't do that with somebody I don't know very well. So you're going to have to get to know that person, because in time, you're going to have to be ready to give your life if somebody intrude in your house. If there's a situation, or if trouble come, you're going to be the first line of defense. You don't want to do that with somebody who don't honor and respect you. Read.
Verse 26, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish.
Read.
So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies.
So the Lord say, love your wife as your own body. That's why Matthew 19 says y'all gonna become one flesh. I supposed to be loving my wife just like I love myself. If I have a care, if you like, we got some brothers that's real strict on their diets and whatever they eat and putting into their body. They in the gym, they working out because they love themselves and they love their bodies. The Lord say, care for your wife like that. Nourish her up, build her up. The same way you doing yourself, do that to her. Read.
So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself.
See there? Read.
For no man ever yet hateth his own flesh, but nourisheth and cherisheth it.
See there? The Lord say, no man ever hate his own body, but he love his body, cherish his body. That's how you supposed to be about your wife. How can you do that with somebody you really don't even know? Like when you get into a backdoor marriage, you don't even know the sister enough to nourish her or cherish her. Half the time, you don't even know what cherish mean. We so busy trying to smash the gas, we ain't cherishing nothing. Read.
Even as the Lord, the church, for we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife.
For this cause, for marriage. That's why you're going to leave your father and mother. You're going to gain you a wife. You're going to gain you a fruitful possession. You're going to sow your seed with it. You're going to build her up. You're going to nourish her. For that cause, that's why you left your mother and father. We used to be hands around the house until we got married. But now in this society, mama, well, it's really mama, because dad ain't even in the house no more. Mama kick you out when you're 19. Now you got to go fend for yourself. Then now you just stumbling trying to find a woman to smash so you can stay with her. Because you ain't got your own mean cottage. Read on.
And they two shall be one flesh. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church. Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife, even as himself.
Read.
And the wife see that she reverence her husband.
What the wife supposed to do?
And the wife see that she reverence her husband.
She reverence her husband. Reverence her husband. Let's go to Psalms. Psalms chapter 45. While that husband is doing all that for you, sis, the Lord said you're supposed to reverence him. Read Psalms 45 and verse 10.
Psalm 45 and verse 10. Hearken, O daughter, and consider and incline thine ear. Forget also thine own people and thy father's house.
For this cause, you're supposed to leave your mother and father for marriage. For that cause, leave your father's house. Read.
And thy father's house, so shall the king greatly desire thy beauty.
Because your husband, your king, gonna greatly desire your beauty. Read.
For he is thy Lord.
He your what?
He is thy Lord.
You're supposed to reverence your Lord. He the Lord in your house. The Lord say reverence him. Read.
And worship thou him.
And what else?
And worship thou him.
Ooh. The Lord say you're supposed to worship your husband. Worship. So if you got a man that's coming in this truth and he's doing the works of the Lord, worship, reverence him, love him, honor him. That's what you're supposed to do, sis. Let's go to Sirach 26 and 26. Let me get there. Let's go.
Sirach chapter 26 and verse 26. A woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all.
See there? The Lord said when you got that honor, that reverence, you're going to be judged wise of all. Because nowadays in our community, these women is some ostriches for real, for real. The Lord say, read that again.
A woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all.
You're going to be judged wise of all if you honor your husband. Now they got the Atlanta Housewives and the basketball wives. They don't honor being no husband. They honor getting flued out. That's what they honor. They honor getting flued out. They honor getting the bag after somebody smash. They want the bag. Give me the bag. You gotta give me a bag and fly me out. That's honor. And that's what they put out there for our sisters to flock to. Read on.
But she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all.
She that dishonor him gonna be counted ungodly. That means damnation for you. The judgment for you. If you got a husband and you don't honor him, the judgment is for you. You have to make a choice and to honor your husband. You made a choice to marry him. Because during the whole proving process, during the time y'all was getting to know each other, you could have said, no, this ain't the man for me. This ain't working. But when you decide to go through with it, now the Lord say, read that again.
But she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all.
The Lord say, when you done got married to him, you want to dishonor him on Judgment Day, you're going to be counted ungodly of all. That's damn. Just saying it like that. Because there's going to be some ungodly souls that's getting damnation. But the Lord said when you dishonor your Lord, you're going to be ungodly of all. Ooh, boy. You make the right choice. Make the right choice. Let's go. Give me Sirach 26 and verse 1.
Sirach chapter 26 and verse 1. Blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife, for the number of his days shall be double.
Read.
A virtuous woman rejoiceth her husband, and he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace.
Read.
A good wife is a good portion, which shall be given in the portion of them that fear the Lord.
Man, start it over. Read that again.
Sir, blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife.
A virtuous wife. Hey, one more definition. Let me see if we can get that virtuous. Blessed is the man that had a virtuous wife. What that mean? He said, for the number of his days shall be double. Man, that means a virtuous woman will increase your lifespan.
Virtuous, having or showing high moral standards. Synonyms are righteous, good, moral, morally correct, ethical, upright, upstanding, high-minded, right-minded, right thinking, principled, exemplary, clean, law-abiding, lawful, irreproachable,
You can't find no reproach in this sister. What?
blameless,
Blameless. She blameless. Go ahead.
guiltless.
Guiltless. Yeah, because a lot of times, do we, after sisters, after you deal with your husband, after you mad, do you carry around any type of guilt from the way that you made him feel after you deal with him? Or do you have a clear conscience? Is your conscience clear? And if you had to stand in front of God, right after you dealt with your husband, when you was angry, would God say you was guiltless or guilty? Let's go back to the synonyms.
Guiltless, unimpeachable, just, honest, honorable, unbribable, incorruptible.
Man, that's enough. Man, I love the way those words sound. If you had if you could build a woman in your you remember that movie where they built that woman? Weird Science. If you can build a woman, those are all the attributes I want to just shove off in her. Cause we ain't seen nothing like that. I mean, it got some that come close, but you know, ain't none of us perfect. You got some women out here that, especially in this truth, man, you got some beautiful spirits in this truth. So I would suggest that get built up and get you one. For real. All right, where we at?
Sirach, chapter 26 and verse 1. Blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife.
So the Lord say you blessed when you got a woman that got those characteristics. Read.
For the number of his days shall be double.
Because she would increase your lifespan. Just think about, man, the way that she presents herself every time she sees you. When you come home from a long, hard day of work. She make a choice to do that. She makes a choice on how she's going to talk to you. She make a choice of how she's going to smell for you when you come in the house. She makes a choice of what she's going to cook for you and put on the table. All these are choices. Read.
A virtuous woman rejoiceth her husband, and he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace.
Fulfill the years of his life in peace. Man, it's such a beautiful thing to come home and somebody asks you, what you want to eat? Can I make you something? How was your day? You need something to drink? Just let me know when you want something.
I'm saying that we have a lot of power. We have power to make heaven and hell for our men. And I'm saying let's try making heaven. Let's try to build him up. If a man has his woman behind him, he will believe he can do anything. And all we need to do is to get our men to believe that they can do anything. And he'll be able to, do much better than he's doing now and come out of the pitiful condition he's in.
That's peace. That's peace. Read.
Verse 3. A good wife is a good portion, which shall be given in the portion of them that fear the Lord.
That's going to be given to the portion of men who apply God's commandments in their lives. God has a way that we are supposed to get married, a way that we're supposed to go about the proving process. If we do all those things, that virtuous wife that he got, that is getting built up for us, when we get that, your life going to get double. Go jump to verse 7.
Sirach, chapter 26 and verse 7. An evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro.
On the flip side, on the flip side of that, what?
An evil wife is a yoke shaking to and fro. And he that hath hold of her is as though he held a scorpion.
Man, it's a evil wife, like a yoke. A yoke around your neck, a chain, and it's shaking to and fro. Just vehemently. She just on you, boy. She on you. It's a yoke shaking to and fro. And what? And it's like he that what?
He that hath hold of her is as though he held a scorpion.
Man, can you imagine trying to hold a scorpion? You're going to be trying to figure out a way how not to get that stinger put in you, bruh. How not to get bit, how not to die. That's what man, an evil woman brings that kind of drama into your life. Come on, man. Let's go. Let me get the wedding video. Go read Ephesians 5:25 one more time.
Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 25.
Yep.
Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it.
Read on.
That he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word.
I want where it says she gonna reverence her husband.
Yes, sir. Verse 33. Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife even as himself. And the wife see that she reverence her husband.
And the wife see that she reverence her husband. Let's play this video. Y'all seen this before.
In sickness.
In sickness.
And in health.
And in health.
To love.
To love.
Hold on, stop. Now, this is in front of all their friends, family, everybody that probably had a little respect for this guy. Everybody that may have thought him as an upstanding individual, somebody that make wise decisions. He look dignified. My man got a bow tie on. I don't know, you know what I mean? A lot of people don't rock bow ties. It's a studious type of individual that rock a bow tie. So, I would think that he has a good reputation amongst his friends. I'm just assuming. I'm thinking he upstanding. I'm giving him that. Now play it.
Cherish.
And to obey.
Man,
We didn't talk about that one in council.
We
Right.
did talk about
Stop.
that in council.
She talking about we ain't talk about that in council. What you think you're gonna be doing in my house with me, your husband, the one who got to put his life on the line for you? What you think you're gonna be doing? You're not gonna obey what I'm telling you to do? You're not gonna listen to me? I'm the one that got to put my life out there for you. I don't get that much reverence. What you thinking? Play that part again.
Love.
Cherish.
Cherish.
And to obey.
You gotta think twice? You gotta think twice about that? That you don't want to listen to what I gotta say? Why marry me? If I'm not him, like they say, if I'm not him, why even stand in front of this man and put on this facade? Because that's what a lot of us do. We put on a facade and we get married knowing damn well you don't want to be married, knowing damn well you ain't reverencing no man or not even a sister. But you get married out of a selfish reason, out of lust. Because you knew you wasn't ready to be married, but you made a choice to get married, and then you finna make a choice to be wicked as hell. But let's play on.
We didn't talk about that one in council.
We did talk about that in council. Yes, we did. So you want me to repeat that again? You want to just keep going?
I think we can keep going.
All right.
This right here is not reverencing your husband, teaching your spouse an evil lesson towards you. Because best believe this man is going to think about this moment when y'all going through something. How this woman made him look like a simp in front of all his friends and family. When they asked the question, will you honor and obey your husband? The ostrich black woman made her husband look like a damn simp in front of everybody. Sisters, y'all can't roll like that. Them days gonna be over. After a while, sisters like that, they gonna be getting their head chopped off. Where we at?
Ephesians 5:33.
Let's go to Sirach 26 one more time. And let's read verse 7 again.
Sirach 26 and verse 7.
Yeah.
An evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro, and he that hath hold of her is as though he held a scorpion.
As though he held a scorpion. Let's go to the book of James right quick. Let's go to the book of James. James chapter 3 and verse 5.
James chapter 3 and verse 5.
This is what that scorpion gonna do.
Even so, the tongue is a little member.
See, she got a tongue in her mouth. The tongue is what allows you to speak. Read it again.
Even so, the tongue is a little member.
And this the tongue is a very little member of your body. It's the size of your pinky most times, right? Can't even really see it. It's in your mouth. Read.
And boasteth great things.
But it boasts great things. When you open your mouth, it tells a whole lot. Read.
Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth.
So how great a situation you can cause by your tongue. Read.
And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body.
Man, the tongue, your speech will make you an ugly person. Read.
And setteth on fire the course of nature.
And it'll set on fire the course of nature. Something that's supposed it's going good, the words you speak will cause everything to mess up. Read.
And it is set on fire of hell.
Man, read on.
For every kind of beast, and of birds, and of serpents, and of things in the sea is tamed, and hath been tamed of mankind.
Man, so everything can be tamed. All these big old elephants you see in the circus, you got a man that's taming these elephants. They lion taming. They tame these ferocious beasts. Read.
But the tongue can no man tame.
Nobody can tame your tongue. This sister, the man she's about to marry, what make her want to make him her husband, somebody that's the representative, the head of her house? What would make her want to make him look like that? She ain't thinking. She ain't thinking at all. Watch this. Go to Proverbs 14 and 1.
Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 1. Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands.
See that? A foolish woman pluck it down her house. A wise woman gonna build up her house. Yeah, I'm gonna love, honor, respect, reverence my husband. Put that confidence in him. The things that you desire in front of the world, so the world can see that I love this man. I'm going to reverence this man. I'm going to do everything in my power to build my house up. But no. Read that again.
Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with...
Because she got the wig. They took the wigs out and left the dumb. Wait, oh, my boy Martin say that. She took the wigs out and left the dumb. Read it again, man.
Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands.
She pluck it down with her hand. You tearing this man down at the time y'all supposed to be at the best time of y'all life, the most joyful time of both of y'all life, when you done met that woman woman you consider to be a virtuous woman. I'm going to spend the rest of my life for this woman. I'm going to build a family for this woman. You sitting up there tearing them down in front of everybody with your tongue. Let's go Proverbs 31:26.
Said Proverbs 31 and verse 26. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness.
That's where you're supposed to be, sis. That's what the Bible do. That's what the word of God does. If you're a righteous individual making a choice to apply God's commandments in your marriage from start to end, read it again.
She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness.
Is the law of kindness. Watch this. Go to the video, Ayana video.
You know, women today are a lot more aggressive in our approach to life in general.
Right.
And we've done more work than them. So we have some things that are solid that they don't. And they've got to catch up.
Now, what do you mean by we're
stop.
more aggressive?
Stop. So that's talking about, you know, the opportunities that Esau afford our sisters over us better, the more educated, they give them better jobs. So that she's saying that they do more than what we've done. But it's you can't be no man, sis. But it is you know, opportunities allotted to them that's not allotted to a lot of brothers. And Esau give them that because that's one of the tools he used against us is our women, put them in a higher position, you know, change they changed how Willie Lynch say? They changed the nature by putting the woman in the head. That's a tactic of the enemy. So play it again.
Some things that are solid that they don't, and they've got to catch up.
Now, what do you mean by we're more aggressive, women today, and why do you think that is?
Well, oh Lord, help me.
It's okay. Listen, we know how you get down. Come on, say it to us.
You know,
Say it, beloved.
We have become what I call men in skirts.
Mm.
We are so
Stop.
aggressive.
She said they men in skirts. Really, they men in pants, cause I bet all of them got pants on. That's the spirit that society done put on them. That's that feminism, where they feel like they run everything. Read. Go ahead, play.
So demanding, so unaware, really. We think we got it going on, but women really aren't aware of their power because our power as women is silent.
What?
If you really know what...
Stop. Take it back. Take it back a couple seconds. Read that. Play it again.
Women is silent.
Nah, take it. She said they power.
Of their power, because our power as women is silent.
They power is silent. I don't gotta say much. My actions will show. I ain't gotta say. I don't gotta boast about nothing. My actions and my silence is my power. Watch this. Sirach 26:13.
Sirach chapter 26 and verse 13.
Let me get there. Man. Yeah.
Sirach 26 and verse 13. The grace of a wife delighteth her husband, and her discretion will fatten his bones.
Watch this.
A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
She said her power is silent. It's in silence. The Lord say that's a gift. That's a gift from God. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, right? But when she does talk, go to 1 Peter. when she does make the decision to speak during tribulation in the marriage, during controversy in the marriage, when she does take the time to speak, watch this, 3:1.
1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 1. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives.
See, the wise conversation of a woman, it speaks volumes. It can tame the most aggressive beast. Read.
While they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear.
While they behold your chaste conversation coupled with the commandments of God, with the fear of the Lord in them. She know you her Lord. She know he feel a certain way. We about to go through something. The way I respond to him in this moment could change the whole dynamic of the conversation. Could change the whole dynamic in the atmosphere in the house. The way I respond to him. Your conversation had to be chaste. You got to be with wisdom. Read on.
Whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair and of wearing of gold, or of putting on of apparel, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, in that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of God of great price.
See, they power, they price, they virtue, they value is in silence. Sister, that's where you win it. When you know how to be silent in times of frustration. When you got chaste conversation and wise words in the time of anger. This is a choice that you can make. Or you can choose to be bitter. You can choose to roll your neck, snap your fingers. You can choose to do all that. But is that wisdom according to God? I tell you what it is. They took out the whiz and left the dumb. Read on.
For after this manner in the old time, the holy women also, who trusted in God, adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands.
So it said they adorn themselves. Adorn means make yourself more beautiful. They made themselves more beautiful by subjecting themselves to their Lord. Just like we have to do. We got to subject ourselves unto Christ. We got to go, all the things that we feel, all the things that we learn in the world, we got to deny it and walk accordingly to the way the Lord told us to. We got to deny ourselves, deny our emotions. The same thing you got to do, sis, for your husband. Read.
Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord.
See there? That chaste conversation in a time of frustration, in a time of anger, she said, my Lord. Reverence. Reverence. That's cold, man. My Lord, what can I do? Hey, babe, right now I don't even know. Okay, I'll be over here until you need me. Power in the silence. Now, when I done thought things through, now I can, hey, babe, this what's going on. But y'all, some of y'all act like y'all don't get that. Y'all wanna tussle. Y'all got that glorilla in you.
Still not giving me an answer.
I just gave you the answer. Why do women get so defensive when they're called out on
because
something?
You don't want to be honest. You don't want to deal with the truth. You don't want to change.
We
what?
just don't want to deal with it.
Exactly. Why? Why is that an issue?
Because we kind of want to do what we want to do, and we don't see. You guys, men complain about things that are just sometimes just why. Why are you upset about it? You do. And I feel
because there's something wrong.
For me.
And the only way to communicate and fix things is to address
I don't
it
like to be told
and deal
that I'm,
with it and fix it.
I don't like to be told that I'm wrong. I don't like to be
that's
told
established.
when I'm wrong.
That's established.
I get
know that.
agitated when I find out that I'm wrong about something. Okay, I get agitated, and that's why I guess I get defensive, because I just want to do what I want to do. And no, it's not always right, but I just want to do what I want to do. And when you call me out, it makes me defensive, because I don't even understand why you would be calling me out. It's not that serious.
Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 9. Live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest all the days of the life of thy vanity.
It say, live joyfully with the wife. Read again.
Live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest all the days of thy life.
So, brothers, we got to live joyfully with the wife, because our lifetime is like a vapor. All the days of thy vanity, all the days of your short life, live joyfully with them. You know, try to be understanding in certain things. The older we get, you know, some things ain't even worth arguing about no more. We see stuff, the woman, she sees stuff that she don't like, she just deal with it. After 10 years of picking up your dirty drawers, she find a joy on picking them up now. You know, after 10 years of hearing you pass gas in the bed and smelling it, she ain't really tripping no more. It's when you're young and just now getting into it that you choose to get angry at that. You choose to get upset that you got to pick up the underwear. This what you finna do for the rest of your marriage. So why not just do it? Read.
Live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest all the days of the life of thy vanity, which he hath given thee under the sun, all the days of thy vanity. For that is thy portion in this life, and in thy labor which thou takest under the sun.
The Lord said, live joyfully, because that's your portion. That wife you got, that's your portion. That husband you got, that's your portion. This is your piece of the kingdom in this life. So why not live joyfully with them? You proved them, you love them. At least that's what you said. Let's go to Genesis chapter 26. Genesis chapter 26, read verse 6 through 9.
Genesis chapter 26 and verse 6. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar, and the men of the place asked him of his wife. And he said, She is my sister. For he feared to say, She is my wife. Lest, said he, the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah.
Right, so Abimelech, the king of the Philistines, when our forefather Isaac came into the land, he knew that his woman was so beautiful. And the way when she adorned herself, he said, I got to say that this is my sister. Because if I don't, they're going to try to kill me and take my wife. Read that again.
And the men of the place asked him of his wife. And he said, She is my sister. For he feared to say, She is my wife. Lest, said he, the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon.
My wife was so fair. He took good care of his wife. She was fair to look at. She took good care of herself. She was beautiful. She probably stayed putting that body what they got the Hadessa Bath challenge. She probably stayed doing the Hadessa Bath challenge. You know what I'm saying? Smelling good, looking good. You like, boy, these Philistines gonna try to kill me, boy, for my old lady. Read.
And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out at a window and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah, his wife.
Man, he said, oh, read on, watch this.
And Abimelech called Isaac and said, Behold, of a surety, she is thy wife.
He seen the way he was dealing with the sister, and he said, bro, You told me that was your sister, but surely, the way you on her, the way you caressing her, the way you holding her, the way y'all in each other's face laughing and smiling and they probably tongue kissing. Why y'all out there doing that? That's your wife. How should a woman be in order to get a man in that mindset where he's sporting with his wife? What type of character should you possess that somebody standing far off can see me in the way I'm dealing with you and say, that's his wife, that's his old lady, boy, he love that girl? What type of aura should a sister give off? I want you to ask yourself that, sister. What type of aura you should be giving off to have a man sporting with you? So somebody standing, I know you ain't finna be like that sister we seen on the video in the talking about, I gotta obey him. What? We ain't discussed that. I know you ain't gonna be like that. That's not finna get nobody sporting with you, for sure. Read.
And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time,
that's it. That's all I want from that. Let's go to 1 John chapter 3. We almost done, man. 1 John chapter 3 and read verse 18.
1 John chapter 3 and verse 18. My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth.
Let us not love in word. Let's not just talk no good game, because that's what we do. Oh, I love you so much. I love you dearly. I love you. Excuse me. I love you to death. These be the words that come out our mouth. The Lord say, don't speak so proudly. Let not arrogance come out of your lips. Because God said he a God of knowledge, and your actions are what he weigh. Here he telling us, don't read that again.
My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth.
Read.
And hereby we know that we are of the truth, and shall assure our hearts before him.
This how we gonna know we of the truth. Read.
For if our heart condemn us, God is greater than our heart, and knoweth all things.
Remember earlier, I asked, when you deal with your husband, is your spirit condemned? Would your spirit be condemned the way that you dealt with him if the Lord was standing right here and Judgment Day was the day you had to deal with him during a rough situation? Brother, if the Lord was standing here the way you dealt with your wife in a situation, would your conscience condemn you? Read on.
Beloved, if our heart condemn us not, then have we confidence toward God.
So if our hearts don't condemn the way we dealing with each other, then we got confidence when we go to the Lord. That's what everybody. If we got confidence on if I got confidence that I'm doing everything I can according to the scriptures with my wife, I'm dealing with her according to the scriptures, then I got confidence when I go in front of the Lord. Sister, you got all these issues and problems with your husband. If you got a clear conscience by the way that you've been dealing with him, when you go in front of the Lord, that's all you need to be worried about. That you did what was appropriate and what cleansed you in the sight of God. Not worry about him, because if the Lord see fit, he'll kill him and replace him for you. The Lord will do that. We read about that with Abigail and Nabal. So we understand that can happen, but you deal with your husband according to the scriptures, like Abigail did. Read on. Is that it? That's verse 21.
Yes, sir. That was 21.
Okay, that's all I want. 1 Corinthians chapter 7. This what our married couple. This the part that our married couple want to get to right here. Chapter 7 and verse 3.
1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 3. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. The wife have not power of her own body, but the husband. And likewise also the husband have not power of his own body, but the wife.
So the scriptures say, render unto your husband or your wife due benevolence. If we going back and forth rendering evil for evil, I don't have a good conscience how I'm dealing with you. You ain't got no good conscience how you dealing with me. How are we going to find the time to have due benevolence? How are we going to even get in the mood for it? That's when you start hearing all them little excuses like, my head hurt. My back hurt. Yeah, before we, you know what I'm saying, before all these problems came, your back wasn't never hurting. You was throwing it in a circle. But we done start having problems and stuff like that. Now you got a headache, your back hurt. What the Lord say?
The wife have not power of her own body, but the husband. And likewise also the husband have not power of his own body, but the wife.
Right. So I have to do that. If ain't nothing physically wrong with me, you know what I'm saying? If I seriously don't have a headache or I'm going through something, you know, that's a reason why not. But if I ain't seriously going through something, I gotta lay it down flat. I gotta lay it down quite flat. And sister, you got to lay it down quite flat too. You dig? Man, read on.
Defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer.
The Lord say, don't defraud each other. Don't defraud one another. That's them talking about I got a headache when you don't really got no headache. That's my back hurt when your back really don't hurt. You just not trying to let me, you know what I'm saying, shoot off. Hey, let's go. Let's go. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 32.
1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 32. But I will have you without carefulness. He that is unmarried careth for the things that belong to the Lord, how he may please the Lord.
So if you a young man that's not married, you care for the things of the Lord. That's your duties amongst the congregation, amongst the body. Right? Read.
But he that is married careth for the things that are of the world.
Yeah. Read.
How he may please his wife.
Because if you married, then you can't fully be obligated to the church. You have to take time out for a date night. You have to take time out for a trip. For, you know what I'm saying, some quality time. You got to take time out for that because you have a woman that's a weaker vessel in understanding, and you got to nurture that spirit so you don't have those problems in the house when you have to do the work. Read.
There is difference also between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman careth for the things of the Lord.
Just like you sisters, when you're not married, you focus on caring for the things of the Lord, the congregation. Read.
That she may be holy both in body and in spirit.
Read.
But she that is married careth for the things of the world, how she may please her husband. And this I speak of for.
Hold on. That's the one that's married, care for the things of the world, how she can please her husband. That's where all of that cooking and that peace and lighting them candles when he come home, cutting them toenails for him when he done complained about some ingrowns in there about 2 or 3 times. You know what I'm saying? Do something nurturing. You know? Then the do benevolence is well, and I guarantee you, he ready. He ready. All right, last two scriptures. Give me John 14 and 15. Because I said a good marriage is a choice. Read.
John chapter 14 and verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
If ye love me, if ye love me.
What's that first word?
If.
That's a choice. If what?
Ye love me, keep my commandments.
The Lord say, if you love me, you make the choice to love me, do what I'm telling you to do. Keep these commandments, apply them. If you love your husband, apply. Because he the Lord in your house. Apply. 1 John 2 and 3.
1 John chapter 2 and verse 3. And hereby we do know that we know him, if we keep his commandments.
We know that we know the Lord if we make the choice to keep the commandments. Read.
He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments,
sister, read,
is a liar.
If you ain't keeping these prescriptions on how to deal with issues in your marriage, if you ain't doing this, God say you a liar. And what?
And the truth is not in him.
And the truth ain't in you, brother. You want to talk with your hand and your fist to your wife? The truth ain't in you, brother. You want to defraud your husband of due benevolence? The truth ain't in you, sister. That ain't how we roll. And that's my time. Shalom.
What is a nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family.